Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy, Kari Katana, back at you with another video. Okay, so let me say this first and foremost. I love both my slingshots, okay? I have the 2015, as you say here, and I also have the 2020. But I get a lot of questions about this particular slingshot. Why do I get so many questions? Because, just stay tuned and you'll find out. This 2015 slingshot, let me kind of say this, okay? I am somewhat new to the slingshot world. Being that I rode motorcycles for 20 plus years, I decided to get a slingshot because I just want something different. And everybody talks about how good they are and stuff like that. I have test driven them before, years in the past and stuff. I never really thought about it until my motor on my motorcycle went down, which I'll tell you about that later. But I'm planning on getting another bike because I'm always going to ride motorcycles. Regardless, I'm going to ride motorcycles. But I can really understand the obsessed. I understand why people love these things. I understand why people cherish these vehicles. They love them and things like that. But this video, I'm going to tell you how I was able to buy this 2015 slingshot, Polaris slingshot that had like 20,000 miles for only $8,000. Yes, $8,000. No, I didn't steal, I didn't kill, I didn't bamboozle somebody. I was just, I have a knack of finding deals. I have this thing about me that I'm able to, if I want something, I'm able to find it, and I'm able to find it at a good price. So, how did I get a 2015 for 8 grand? And how can you get a slingshot for cheap? Okay, so let me tell you a quick backstory on how I got this, okay? First of all, I originally was gonna get it because I was going to use it to do Turo and rent out to make some extra money. But after really looking at how people treat these machines, especially rental people, stuff like that, plus the market is flooded with people who do rentals, and that the parts, if something was to happen and the parts are so backlogged, it would take months to get stuff fixed, I decided, you know what, just forget it. I will just keep it and just ride it for pure pleasure and maybe rent it out to a couple of people I know or people in my area. So, as now time is winding down and starting to get colder, there's a perfect opportunity to make this video to tell you how to get something like this for 8 grand. Okay, first of all, you have to ask yourself what's your budget and what you're looking for. Now, yes, I have a 2020 slingshot because the only reason why I have it is because it was automatic. And I wanted automatic for a particular situation, which if you look at my earlier video, you'll know why. Because I wanted to turn to a 4-seater, but I decided not. No, actually, I didn't see it, okay? One thing about looking for stuff, if you're trying to find something, like for instance, when I wanted this slingshot, right? The first thing people do is they just go run out and they start looking. It's okay to look, but if you don't find something that's not within your price range, either you don't like it, don't ever force it, because forcing things makes you make bad decisions. Let it come to you. I promise you. If you just be patient, let it just rest, it will come to you. And this is how this slingshot came to me. Yes, I kind of looked, but as I saw the prices, I was like, nah, I'm good. And plus I was also waiting for a check for me to buy one anyway. So I was already knowing I was going to get some money, but I just got to figure out when I do get it, I'll be able to find something I can afford I really like. So I just waited, okay? So I waited. And then one guy posted on a forum. Now, the first thing you should always do if you're going to look to buy a slingshot is to join every slingshot forum, either the forums, the groups, people who have them, just network, always network. Go to each in every group, no matter where it is, in South Carolina, in New York, wherever a slingshot group is in, you need to join the group, okay? That's the first thing you should always do. Second thing you do your research. Do your research. Always do your research. Always do your research. On what particular year you want, what do you want to have in it? Because some years, some slingshots don't have the radio. Some do. Some slingshots have different tires and rims. Some don't. It's just different things. So you got to find out which particular one you want or what years do you want to get. Then just wait and look. A lot of times what happens is people will post things like, I'm selling my slingshot. And the person will go out there and say, okay, I'm selling my slingshot for this amount of money, blah, blah. But in every comment, there's always going to be those few people who are going to try to piggyback on the original post to sell their slingshots. And that's where you go and you look for the good deals and find one that you really like or you could really afford. That's where you need to go. Because what happens is the person who makes the original post has a certain price. And then what happens is the people under there who have a slingshot or whatever want to sell it, a lot of times they're below the asking price of the original post. Because somebody might see a slingshot for $26,000 and they're like, shoot, man, mine's only a couple of years older. Shoot, I'll sell mine for 22 or 21,000. And that's where you go. Or you can always say, well, if you're selling yours, if this guy's selling his for $25,000 and you're trying to sell yours for 24, I might as well just spend an extra $1,000 to get his, because his has this, this, and this, and this. And that will prompt the guy to be like, okay, you're right. So I'll give it to you for 23 or 22. That's how you work a deal, okay? So once this guy posted in a group that he was selling a slingshot, and I was like, okay, and the slingshot was out of my price range anyway. But there was a certain guy, he posted, I'm thinking about selling mine. He didn't take no pictures. He didn't say how much. He just said he was thinking about selling his. And I jumped on him. I was like one of the first people to jump on and say, well, which one do you have? This time I started asking a question. He says, I have a 2015, has 20-some thousand miles. It has some upgrades and things like that. And I was like, well, how much you asking? And he was asking, at first he was asking for like 10 or 11. But after talking to him and talked him down, we settled on a price for $8,000. Now, you're wondering, how did I get it actually down to $8,000? Let me tell you the secret, especially in buying things and things like that, okay? The secret is this. When I was talking to the guy, and I asked him, I said, well, first thing he says, I'm selling my slingshot. I said, okay, cool. Then he says, I asked him, why are you selling it? Because, you just ask people why they're selling it. And what happened was he got into a real bad motorcycle accident. And because he had already bought the slingshot, but he also had a motorcycle. He got in a really bad motorcycle accident. And he was telling me, he showed me pictures. He was bruised up. He was walking with a cane. And it was like the weekend of his son getting married. So he has a photo, the wedding photos. He's like got a black eye and bruised up and cane. Looked like he got beat up. So the first thing you always do is treat people like humans, first of all. Because the thing about it is that the reason why he got this was because he was liking it something, he got in an accident, but then he couldn't sit for a long time, and that he couldn't really drive it like he wanted to because of his condition. And it was just sitting there. So, he was like, well, there's no reason for me to keep it. So as I was talking to him, I was getting a chance to know him. And that's what you need to do, especially when it comes to vehicles or something special to people. You got to connect with these people. You got to be able to say, I understand, not just be like, well, how much are you going to sell it for? Okay, blah, 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 blah. And treat them like, they're just some number or whatever. They're not a person. You need to really get in touch on why they're doing things like that and let them know, well, when I buy it or if I'm going to buy it, this, that, and the other, that, I'm going to treat it good and things like that. Now if you're flipping it, then you're flipping it. But I'm talking about to those who are wanting to keep it for an experience. So the guy, we were talking to him, I asked him, are you okay? How did the wedding go? I was actually getting to know him and get a chance to talk to him. And, we just started conversing back and forth. And I told him, I was like, look, I wish I could buy it, but you know, in a like a month or two, I'm supposed to get some money in, you know, and I would like to get it, but I understand if you don't hold it for me, because there was a lot of people after me who was asking about the slingshot because they saw me asking him. So of course I had people piggybacking my comment to ask him. So the guy's like, look, I'm gonna hold it for you. I was like, okay, well here, let me give you some money. I was even offering to give him like a couple $100 just to hold it. And if I don't get it, he can keep it. And he said, no. I'll keep it. You just, whenever you get the money, just let me know. So a couple weeks went by, nothing. But I always kept in contact with him. I always hit him up and say, hey, you know, I'm still, you know, waiting on my money, but how are you doing? Are you okay? You know, do you need anything, this, that, and the other? And he said, no, I'm good. You know, thanks for asking. And then a month happened. You know, every like once or 2 weeks, I would always call him just to say, hey man, I'm still waiting on it. I still want it. So finally, my money came in, and I told him, I was like, hey, I got my money, I'm gonna come get it. And he was like, good, because if you don't come get it, I'm about to keep this. And because he was on the brink of changing his mind. And the good thing about it is I got the money just in time to go get it. So me and a friend of mine went one late night after work, drove all the way to South Carolina, met him. I test drove it, everything was fine, and I put on a trailer. We kind of sat and talked and bullshit a little bit, you know, and just, you know, wrapped it, whatever. And, you know, brought it home, and everything was fine. Had a clean title, everything was great, no problems. Spent $8,000, so that's how I got it for $8,000. And the thing is this, did you know, let me say this, not only this is the 2015, which is the first year they made them, it's the Super Sport, which is faster. This one already had a lot of mods to it anyway. The carbon fiber wing right here, this right here was already on this when I bought it. The mirrors, there's these little adapters, was already on it. The hood vent here, already on it. There's a stereo system, lights was already on it, you know, awesome stereo system. All that was on it, and on top of that, I also got I got a set of spare rims and tires. So I also have 3 rims and tires to go with this as well for $8,000. The only thing that I did, that I changed up is, I don't know if you can see this, but I took the bumper off, the bumper, and actually put a Sling Mods bumper on there to protect it from curves and stuff like that. Because at the time, like I said, I was going to rent it out, but I decided not to. But I really like the bumper here, the metal bumper, which just it sets it off. Okay, so that's how I got it for $8,000. Now, do you think you're going to get one for $8,000? I really don't think you're going to get that, but never say never. Miracles do happen. Okay, so you're asking yourself, well, I know I can't get one for $8,000. How can I get the cheapest but get the best bang for my buck, okay? Sorry, this is so dirty. So I had to put up, but it's such nice weather, I had to ride her, so, and plus I had to make this video. So, the best way you want to do as far as trying to find a deal. Okay, so just like anything sports related, as far as sports cars or whatever, you know, bikes, whatever, they pretty much is all the same. So take this technique and use it for pretty much anything, especially summer toys, okay? And if you don't know this, then let me school you once. Let me school you, okay? I'm gonna give you this for free. Now, before I say that, please like this video. If you're not subscribed to this video, to my channel, please subscribe, because not only am I going to be making videos about this slingshot, I'm going to make videos about my scoot ski, my stallion, my bike. I'm going to have a lot of things I'm going to be making videos of. Definitely, y'all need to stay tuned. But, okay, got that out of the way. Okay, so one thing is always buy off season. Always buy off season. You know how stupid people do when they be like, oh, it's March, I'm ready to ride. I want a slingshot, or I want a motorcycle, or I want this. That's when the prices get jacked up. Around March and April, them prices are up for two reasons. One, they know that this hot weather is about to come, so of course they're gonna raise the price. And number two, that's when people get their tax money. That's when they get tax money. So those are reasons why you should always buy off season. This right now, right now would be the perfect time to buy a slingshot or a motorcycle because it's cold, people are putting them away, and then or people are sitting there saying to myself, you know, do I really need this? It's cold, I can't ride it, I can't enjoy it. I got other projects. You know what? I'm just going to go ahead and sell mine. Yes, buy off season. If you want to get a very good deal, always buy off season. Another thing you should do, and this is a little bit more difficult, okay? If you're really looking for a great deal on a slingshot, you might have to do a little traveling, okay? You might have to drive some miles, states away to get a good deal on a slingshot, okay? Now, let me tell you this, and I'm going to give you some good advice here. Never, if you find a slingshot, it's a great deal, and you got the money, and you make the arrangements, and you're going to go pick it up, and say if it's in, I don't know, say if it's in Tennessee or say if it's in Texas or something like that. Never, ever, ever, ever drive it home, okay? Never drive anything you buy home. You know, the best way is to go rent you a trailer, find somebody who has a big enough trailer that you're able to put this on or something like that, or get a car hauler. That's what I did before I bought my trailer. I had a car hauler, I borrowed one and got this. Never ever drive one of these or anything you buy home. For the simple fact is that you're basically trusting the person that sold you this vehicle that's gonna make it. Because most of the time, if there's something wrong with it, it might be something minor, you don't wanna be stuck halfway home in another state and trying to figure out what's going on, because you know, these are not just simple vehicles that you can go into the, you know, well, I mean, the motor you can if it's a motor situation, but most time it's not a vehicle you can just go take it to, you know, a normal auto place and they just fix it just like that. You know what I'm saying? So just tow it, always tow it. And another thing too is you want to be able to have confidence in the purchases. And the best way to get confidence is riding around in your area for a while. So if anything was to go wrong, it's easier for you to bring it home when you're a short amount of distance versus if you're trying to bring it home from Texas. So I highly suggest you don't do that. And also another thing is this, it could rain, and these are not the best things to ride in the rain. Absolutely never should ride these in the rain. Not because of getting wet, it's because of the traction. And many people have crashed because they rode these in the rain. So just remember that. So yes, always always tow it home. Now you're gonna have to find a good deal. You might have to go to New York. It's always good to go to an area or to a region that has a lot of snow or it's always cold, because it seems like they're the ones that sell theirs the cheapest. And yes, you might have to drive to New York or Connecticut or Vermont or New Hampshire or wherever, you know, Montana, wherever it's cold to get it. Because think about it, if you can save about $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 or $6,000, I would, and have to drive maybe, you know, 22 hours. I would definitely do that for $5,000 or $6,000 to save. But you know, everybody's different. Or you can get somebody to ship it back. But again, you should go and look at it yourself and make sure this is what you really want. Because if you're going to be dropping, you know, $20,000 on a vehicle, I'm going to see that for myself. I'm not going to just like say, okay, here's $20,000 to some stranger person and have another stranger person bring it to you, and then you can just pull off the truck, guy drives away, and you start it up, go down the street, break down. You know what I'm saying? Those things do happen. But yes, always tow it home. Another way of getting something like this a little cheaper is to look for ones that might be damaged, but make sure that the damage is so extensive that it's going to cost more to fix it than what it's worth. And that's one of the people's problems. I have a friend of mine who won so bad, And then he's like, well, the rack and pinions broke, but everything's good. But he wanted, what did he want? He wanted $11,000 for it. No, yeah, like $11,000 to $12,000 for it. And I told him, I was like, well, it's gonna cost you almost $2,000 to fix it, because you're gonna need a hood, a bumper, the rack and pinion on top of that, and then it also has some damage in the back. And then on top of that, you're gonna have a salvage title. So therefore, you're gonna have to get inspected, and that's more money. And then on top of that, if you ever decide to sell it, you're gonna lose money because it has a salvage title. So I mean, you gotta think of what you're gonna do when situations like that happens, and how much you're willing to spend, and do your research. Because when the guy tells you, hey, you know, this is one wrong one, you can be like, okay, well, if that's wrong with it, then I gotta fix this, and this is how much it's gonna cost me, and you're asking this much for the price, and you know what, the numbers don't add up, and you know, if you give it to me for this price, I'll buy it right now. But if you don't, then do that. Because here's the thing, if a deal is not good, walk away. Always walk away if you don't feel right. I've walked away from many deals because I didn't feel right. Because eventually, you'll find one that's meant for you. You'll find one that you're gonna like. You're gonna find one that's going to help you, make the right decision. You know, you say, okay, well, I see this one, I like it, I'm gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? So don't press it, because it's always gonna be there. There's always gonna be more, because the thing about this is like a rotation. They've got the new ones out, automatic, faster, lighter, blah, blah, blah. And these right here are the old ones. And you know what, to be honest with you, you know, you might not know this, but my 2015, my 2020, you know what they do? They both have the same wind. I get the same wind. It's not like it's no different wind. It's not like, oh, in the 2020, I get this kind of wind. It's same wind. The same ticket. If I got speed going 80 on my 2020, and I got 80 doing this, I get the same ticket. So don't get caught up that you have to get the new one to have fun. No, get what's good for your wallet, not what other people think you should get, because they're not the ones paying for it, you are. So, in ending this video, always look for the good deal. Don't stress yourself about it. Let the good deal come to you. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Don't force it, because forcing it makes people make stupid decisions. I was lucky to get this for $8,000. So lucky. And right now, if I wanted to clean this guy up, wait about a few months, probably sell this joke for about $18,000, maybe $19,000 if I want to. I'm not. Don't ask. But yeah, if I really want to. But you just gotta find a deal. You gotta find a deal. If you have any questions on where, what places might have the better deals, hit me up in the inbox, in the comments below. If you have questions, this, that, and the other, just ask me. And if you think I'm lying, if you think I'm just talking bull, if you think I'm just clickbaiting, if you think I'm not real, I will show you the Facebook messages and show receipts if you want me to tell you I got this for $8,000. Because, YouTube and people lie all the time. Me, not lying to you. But I can show you receipts if people don't believe me. But like I said, why would I need to lie? There's no reason to. But anyway, so I'm gonna get my ride in for last time, get my little Santa Claus. So yeah, I'm gonna be out here, guys. So y'all take it easy, and if you have any problems, if you have any questions, leave me a comment below. So that's about it, guys. I'll holler at y'all later. Peace.